All right. Hey, it's your healthcare consultant, better known as Demetrius Kirk. I wanted to talk to you guys today about becoming a healthcare consultant. If you don't know, I dropped a blog on my personal LinkedIn page about the top 5 aha moments of my healthcare consulting career. Here's a link here, and here is the picture of the blog here. So I wanted to talk to you about my top 5 aha moments as a healthcare consultant. I've been a healthcare consultant on and off for about the last 5 to 8 years, but really doing it full time for the last 2.5 years, hanging my own shingle out there. And I wanted to do this video because I often get people reaching out to me and saying, well, what is a healthcare consultant? How do I become a healthcare consultant? And how did you become a healthcare consultant? So when people start to reach out to me, I get to send them this video now. And that's the purpose of this video, right? I get to send them this and hopefully answer their questions as to how did I become a healthcare consultant? What is a healthcare consultant? And bonus is you're going to learn my top 5 aha moments as a healthcare consultant. So a healthcare consultant is someone like myself, a registered nurse, licensed nursing home administrator, or other discipline within the healthcare field who specialize in the area. So when it comes to me, my specialty is risk and compliance. I love all things risk. I love all things compliance. For me, things are either black and white. It's either a policy or not a policy. There's either a regulation behind it or not a regulation behind it. I support long-term care facilities, post-acute care facilities, assisted living facilities, all things post-acute I support as a risk and compliance specialist, consultant. And as I mentioned, I've hung my own shingle up for the last 2.5 years, and I've traveled all over the country to help long-term care facilities and post-acute care facilities prepare for survey management, improve their operational outcomes, and improve their clinical outcomes. So for me, what that means is I'm coming into a facility and I'm reviewing their processes, I'm reviewing their policies and helping them achieve maximum efficiency, improve their clinical outcomes, improve their quality outcomes. So sometimes I'm hired to come to a long-term care facility and perform a mock survey. Sometimes I'm hired to come into a long-term care facility because they are in between administrators and I'm training a new AIT to take over. Sometimes I'm hired to come in as a director of nursing and assist the director of nursing to improve their clinical outcomes. Now, I generally don't sit in the seat, but I am the on-site consultant to help them through it. So oftentimes people will call me and say, hey, Demetrius, we've just had a bad survey and we need you to help us clean up our plan of correction. If you don't know, I recently helped a facility that had 36 citations, 2 immediate jeopardies, and 1 directed plan of correction. I helped them clear that survey within 28 days. We cleared that IJ within 2 days. There was 2 IJs. We cleared that within 2 days. And then we cleared the 36 citations within 28 days. So if you know how to do a plan of correction and clear it, you know that 28 days is remarkable to clear that level, that many citations. I mean, we had IJs, we had Gs, we had everything. But I was hired to come in and really clean it up. So when I am called, I'm often asking, how can I help you? And I am listening to what the client is telling me. Now, I know that oftentimes what the client is telling me may not be 100% as accurate as it needs to be because sometimes they are not on the ground, in the building, in the trenches. And I said it because I'm often called by long-term care operators, owner operators, maybe the VP or something, and they don't know what's really going on in the building. They know they've had these issues with compliance. They've had these issues with regulatory compliance, and they don't know what's going on. So I'm called in to come in, assess the situation, and fix the problem. So I got into consulting I started to charge for my consulting because I was often the go-to. I was once called to write a plan of correction for a facility, and I was volunteering my time and realizing that I'm volunteering my time and I'm not making any money from it. I'm not charging for it. So it was at that point I had the aha, and I said, look, I need to charge for my time. And one of the things I had to learn early on, and I hope that you are learning or don't have to learn how I learned, is you have to charge for outcomes. See, what I did when I first got into consulting is I charged for my time. Well, that wasn't really right. So think of it in the case of when a plumber comes out to snake out your bathroom. That plumber's going to come out. He's going to charge you $200, and he's going to be in and out within 15 minutes. He's going to put a snake in there. He's going to do what he needs to do, and he's going to come out, and he's going to say, I'm done. But you didn't pay him for the time, you paid him for an outcome. And that's what I had to learn to do as a healthcare consultant. I had to learn to price my services from an outcome perspective, because just because I'm efficient and able to get the job done quickly should not mean and does not mean I should be paid any less than my counterparts. So I had to learn how to price jobs as a project and then charge what I needed to charge to make sure that the project was worth it. So one of the first things that I've learned is, hey, the great pricing conundrum, as I've just mentioned. You charge for outcomes, not for time. The second thing I had to learn is to stop giving away so many free consultations. When I started this process as a healthcare consultant and said, look, I'm going to charge, I was giving away 30 minutes for free. I remember one day I had 10 people booked for free consultations. By the time I was done at the end of the day, I had talked to 10 people and made $0. It made no sense. To some point, I still do free consultations and I keep them to 10, 15 minutes, right? I have to understand your needs and see if this is something that I can assist you with. But what I've learned to do is listen more and talk less. Because what I was often doing is listening, but I was also giving the answers. And if I was giving it to them, they're never going to come back and hire me. So I had to listen more and talk less and offer solutions to their problem through my consultancy, right? So for you guys, right, starting, please don't be like me where you're just offering the cow, right? And you just want to be helpful. But what you'll find is people will tell you, and I've had this multiple times. I've had a hospital tell me this. They would come for the free consultation and say, well, we can't afford your services. And I said, but you never asked. You never once asked how much was my consulting services, but you signed up for free twice, 2 consultations. So what I learned is they was getting this information with never an intention to hire me. They were literally taking this information, going back internally and implementing these things. And then when they needed to tweak, they would sign up for another free consultation, maybe a few months later. But I caught on. And that's where I say, no, I'm going to listen more and talk less. The next thing is networking, right? We always talk network. While networking is good, you have to network with the right people. And it kind of goes to the free consultations, right? Because you'll network, you'll rub somebody's back, they rub your back. But what I learned is sometimes when you're pouring into others' cups, right? Hopefully we can do something with me pouring into a cup. When you're pouring in others' cups, sometimes their cups are bottomless pits, meaning you can keep pouring, but it's never going to get full. And when you turn around and pull out your cup, there's nothing to be poured in it. You know, they're kind of radio silent. And I've learned that, right? I've done quite a few swaps throughout my consultancy. And when it was time to kind of do the actual swap, they didn't have time or they were busy with their projects or whatever the case. And it left me feeling, some type of way. So, while I do want you to network, I want you to not make the mistakes I did and slowly sip the coffee as you're talking with people, right? Understand what the value is that they bring and see if the value that you're giving aligns. The fourth thing I want to share with you is your website, right? As many people as I talk to, they say, well, do I need a website? And I tell people, how did you find me? And they say, well, we were typing in healthcare consultants near me or healthcare consultants or long-term care experts or MDS consultants or, PDPM experts, MDS help now. And I said, but you typed in those keywords and you found me. And they said, well, yeah. I said, well, how would I find you if you don't have a website that's search engine optimized? So I understand as we're starting off as a consultant, but one of the things that you can do that's very inexpensive is to make your website, right? Wix has it for $20 a month. Other companies has it for, $20, $30, right? You have to spend some money if you want someone to invest in you. And that's what I think people fail to realize, right? If you want a company to invest in you, your website is your online handshake. Your website is showing and detailing the services that you have. As you know, when you go online, you're looking for Google reviews. You're looking for the reviews of what the company is doing and how they're functioning. So if you don't know, check out SMK Medical's Google reviews. We have 16, right, 5-star reviews from all the work we've done across the U.S. Those Google reviews and that website is important. But if you can't afford a website, and you absolutely can afford a website, you can do a couple things for free. Let me tell you. I'm going to put them here on the screen. You can make a Facebook page. You can make a Instagram page, you can make a LinkedIn page. All those things are for free, and they will start to give you some rank on Google. So when you're starting to build up your page and liking and sharing and all of that great stuff, that's going to help you. So when a company enters your name, they can hopefully come to your LinkedIn page. So if you, for example, typed in SMK Compliance Minute, you're going to go to our LinkedIn page, right? And that LinkedIn page is also linked to our main web page where we release blogs as well. But what we did was we've created a LinkedIn page, we've created a website, and we've created various other pages so you can find us all over. So when you type in expert healthcare consulting in Michigan, we're like number 7. You type in healthcare consultants here in Hawaii, we're, I think, number 8 or number 9, right? We've done that without ad placements. Imagine what we can do with ad placements. Imagine what you can do with ad placements. The 5th thing I'll tell you is to seek feedback. Feedback is your friend. If you are working on a contract, you have to ask, hey, how am I doing? Are we meeting your needs? Are we exceeding your needs? You can't be afraid of confrontation. You can't be afraid of a bad review in person, right? I'd rather you tell me than post it on Google. So tell me so I have the opportunity to fix the issue. I want to fix the issue before this contract ends. I want to make sure that you are happy when you leave out the door. So one of the things I do with my consultations or even with my clients as I'm starting to exit, I say, hey, do you feel I've offered you 5-star service? And they say yes or no. Oftentimes it's yes. And I say, well, great. If I've offered you 5-star service, can you go to my page and give us a Google review? And then I'll send them over to Google review. One of the tricks. That's how I got 16 Google reviews, right? I'm always asking, can I get a great Google review? But I'm getting that feedback and they're providing that feedback. So constant communication is key. Communication is going to be the biggest barrier for you if to overcome. If you're not effective at communicating, if you can't verbally tell somebody why they should hire you, if you can't outline your services very quickly, no one's going to hire you. So it all goes back to communication. So I hope that this gave you some information. If you'd like, please reach out to me. I offer consultations, as we talked about, right? There is a fee for those consultations now because I no longer do free consultations because, you know, you're pouring into a cup that never stops leaking out. But, you know, to summarize, right? Make sure that you are pricing yourself based on a project, not on time. Make sure if you're offering free consultations, you're doing this: listening and not speaking. Network. Attend conferences, network with people, swap services as you need to, but make sure that the service that you are swapping is equivalent to what you're receiving back. And then place emphasis on a website. Have a website. There's cheap website builders out here. Get you a website. If you can't do it, get you a LinkedIn page, a LinkedIn page, a Facebook page. You can make a TikTok, all this stuff, right? Do that. Make sure you are putting yourself out there. And then the last thing is value feedback. Feedback is going to be key. So the link to this blog is going to be in the description. My link to book on my calendar, if you like to book on my calendar, is going to be in this description. I want to see you in. You know, there is enough work out here for all healthcare consultants. You know, what I find is, especially for nurses, right? We're afraid to leave the bedside. We're afraid to leave our comfortability area where we're comfortable at. But, you know, change does not happen in the dark, you know, right? A flower doesn't grow in the dark. A flower needs light and it needs watering. So you need to place that water into yourself. You need to put yourself in the light, and that's how you will blossom. If you're standing behind waiting for something to happen, it's just not going to happen. So, you know, I wish you all the best, and I want to see you win. I want to see you succeed. So reach out to me if I can offer any support. I'd love to chat with you.